Breaking news involving BART as you get going this morning. No trains running between Hayward and Berryessa this hour. And we have a chance this morning to ask somebody who is with BART about this. This is Chris Filippi. He's on the phone to talk to us about what the situation is currently. Chris, can you hear us?
I can. Good morning.
Thank you so much for talking to us right here on your community station. We appreciate it when you've got an issue like this to take time to talk to your riders through our broadcast. First of all, just give us up to date right now. What's the situation right now?
Sure. Our latest situation at this point is we have stopped service between South Hayward and Berryessa stations. So 6 total stations are impacted. We are continuing service through the rest of the system, including Hayward system, and also a station, and also we are continuing with trans-based service. So we do have trains going through the tube. The impacts of this are between South Hayward and Berryessa, North San Jose. At this point, we don't have an estimate for when we will be able to restore normal service on that part of our system. So for now, we are telling riders who would typically take us, say, into work or wherever they might be going this morning at least, that if they're between South Hayward and Berryessa, North San Jose, they should look at alternative means of transportation.
Well, and we're seeing the word getting out because we're looking live right now at some of those BART riders looking down at their cell phones, and they are starting to try to find some of those alternate forms of travel there as they're turned away. Tell us what happened here and what caused this before we get deeper into sort of some larger conversations about BART in general. What caused this problem?
So at this point, the initial word is that we have some damaged wayside equipment, and we suspect that vandalism is responsible for that. We have crews on the scene and additional staff responding at this point to make repairs and to gather more information on exactly what happened. And also in terms of service, when something like this occurs, we deploy extra staff to help at the stations with no train service. So we're working there, trying to give folks those alternatives. There are multiple parallel bus lines that run between BART stations in that area, primarily via AC Transit. So we're definitely trying to get the word out on those as well. And I should also note, too, that AC Transit is offering mutual aid, which means they are giving free rides to BART riders who are impacted by this service disruption.
Well, in respect to you, as it's going to be a difficult morning once again for BART to try to have to explain these problems. But you do have a riding public up in the East Bay and elsewhere that are very frustrated with BART. You know, we've all morning long been talking about repeat problems with BART that has interrupted people being able to get to work, to school in the morning. What is the larger issue here, and what is the hope of BART for a fix?
So a few things I would say to that is, one, this appears to be an isolated incident. Again, our initial indication is this is suspected vandalism. So at least at this early stage, there's nothing to indicate that this particular incident is connected with any of the previous service problems. The other thing I would say overall is, despite the major service issues that we've had, and we certainly have had major service disruptions of late, is that our customer on time rate is still above 90%. BART typically is a reliable service. But having said that, we have to acknowledge that even at over 90%, that doesn't matter this morning. That doesn't matter for folks who are impacted by this major service disruption. We certainly apologize to those folks, and that's why for us, especially early on, it's important for us to get the word out as quickly as we can and hopefully can catch as many people as we can before they leave their home with their typical routine, again, to use BART to get where they need to go. We want to reach them before that, hopefully, and let them know that they do have to find an alternative this morning.
Are you able to say this morning what kind of a vandalism situation caused this disruption for so many hundreds of people?
It's too early to say at this point. You know, we're so focused on making the repairs and getting our crews there. We don't have that level of detail. But again, we are concerned that this is suspected vandalism based upon the initial information that we have.
All right. Well, we appreciate the conversation this morning. Our best to those of you who are trying to find a fix in our community to this problem that we've been reporting on, and also to the people who are just wrapping up their work week right now. We see them on the curb. We are your community station. We'll continue following this breaking news whenever it happens, 24/7, 365. Also, just want to let our viewers know you can go on our app and download that app on your phone and get up-to-the-minute updates whenever something like this happens, or stream right there in the palm of your hand on KPIX.com if you're maybe getting on one of the buses and avoiding some of those BART lines.